Hi, this is Marriage and Family Matters. I'm Sonia and we are back in my kitchen. Today we are doing a keto cheesecake and we're going to do mini cheesecakes so you don't eat too much at one time. We got this recipe from nobunplease.com. Their recipe is actually a raspberry swirl cheesecake. We're going to do their recipe exactly as it is, except we're switching out the raspberry for strawberry because this is a strawberry loving house. Anyway, stay tuned and watch as I pull together this recipe. Okay, so as always, for all the recipe details, please be sure to look in the description area below the video because as I'm talking through it, I probably won't call out all of the specific measurements and everything you'll need to know to actually replicate the recipe. And then we'll also include the link to the No Bun Please website where we found the recipe since we're following it pretty much as it is. Okay, cool. So, if you saw my other video, you noticed that I am sporting my new apron, see, from Christmas. But I'm doing this video because I also want to debut my new mixer stand. Woohoo! I got this for Christmas too. Also from my husband who loves me so much and he knows that I love cooking and that I have been wanting this forever. For all of those who are out there with your eyebrow raised, do know that because we are Dave Ramsey following people, we did purchase this with the budget and we did plan for it. So, you know, if you want to make a big purchase like that, do it the same way like we talked about. So just plan for it and you'll be good to go. Let's jump into this recipe. So the first thing you want to do is put the ingredients together to make the crust. So I have already gone ahead and put the paper cups in the muffin tins for our mini cheesecakes. And the reason you want to use the paper cups is it just makes it a lot easier to handle because the crust we're doing is kind of a crumbly type crust and it'll just be hard to manage having 12 of those or 24 of those without having something to contain them. So I've already prepped this and I'm going to start to pull together the recipe. So here we go. So to get started for the crust, all it is almond flour, erythritol sugar of some sort. You choose your kind, your favorite. We prefer Swerve in this house, so we use Swerve. And melted butter, which I have also taken the liberty of doing that beforehand. So I'm just going to measure this stuff out and get us started. I am doubling my recipe, so you won't actually need this much stuff as you'll see me using, but I'm making twice the recipe size, so bear with me. As I try not to make a complete mess. Okay, so then I'm going to add the sugar in, or sweetener, non-sugar sugar. And because I am doubling the recipe, I'm just adding 2 teaspoons. Into a nice little crumble, and then you'll just spoon it into each little cup. already preheated my oven to 350 degrees, which we'll use to bake the crust. Flour is very absorbent, so it won't look like it was doing much, but that little bit of butter spread a long way. And so now I'm just going to spoon it evenly into each cup as best as I can visually, and then kind of make it a little bit even at the bottom. That's way too much in there. This without pouring out my crust here, but there you go. Okay, so now these just go in the oven for 10 minutes, and then as soon as these are done, I need to make the oven turn the temperature up on the oven to 400 to prepare for the cheesecakes to go back in there once the cheesecake mixture is actually mixed. Okay, let's get these in the oven. We'll be right back shortly to do the cheesecake mix. Okay, so guys, I have gone ahead and baked the crust. While it was baking, I was paying attention to the smell. If you look at the recipe, it says to pay attention to the aroma because these tend to burn quickly. And because I had two pans in the oven at the same time, the one I had on the bottom started to cook a little bit faster, and then the one on the top cooked fast as well once I took the other out. So I just paid attention to the smells, and I took them out when I felt like they were browned enough for my liking. So I don't know if it's visible on the camera, but there's a darker brown crust towards the bottom, which means the bottom part was starting to brown a lot faster. So these are good for me. I'm going to use these when you're doing it. If you're doing one single batch, it would cook a little bit. You'll be able to do probably the full 10 minutes, but it kind of depends on how long you had your oven on and some different factors. But just a note to pay attention to the smell to make sure you don't burn your crust. Also, while those were in the oven, I went ahead and prepped all of the remaining ingredients to kind of not bore you to death with measuring out every little thing. So all we have to do now, guys, is make the actual cheesecake. And to do that, you just take the rest of your ingredients And because I have this lovely mixer now, I can just dump it in here and let it do all the work instead of holding my hand mixer like I used to. Yes. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. So I'm gonna open this up and I'm gonna put all of my cream cheese, eggs, I've got vanilla and lemon juice here, and I've got my sweetener here. So I'm gonna just dump all that in the mixer and let the mixer do all the work for me. Here we go. All of my cream cheese as well as my eggs are at room temperature in order to make it easier to mix. So they're very soft and pliable right now. So they should mix very easily. Over there. Vanilla and lemon juice, my sweetener, and my eggs. Gotta get used to using this. Put my little splash guard here. Alright. You just want to blend it and or mix it until you got a nice silky smooth cream cheese mixture. Alright, we should be good to go now. And I'll let you guys take a look at that and see the consistency that I'm going to use. You can probably see a little bit on this wand how smooth and silky that is. Oh yeah. Make you want to lick it right off the wand. This might be a little tricky. I'm just gonna go ahead and take this off. This is getting in my way. Okay, so true confessions. Brenda had to help me take off the darn shield, but it's off. So now I can take this off and let you guys look at that silky smooth cream cheese mix. And then, so now all that remains is to scoop this batter into each of your cupcake cups. And then after that, we'll go through and put the preserves in there and stir it around to make the cheesecake swirl. Alrighty, I'm gonna clean my hands. Alright, so I'm gonna scoop this batter into the cups. And this won't rise at all anymore, so you want to fill your cup with as much cheesecake as you want the end result to be. I would start with, less and then go back and add so that you don't run out of batter. So one thing I failed to mention, you guys, is when I take my crust out of the oven and increase the temperature to 400, when I put these back into the oven, I'm going to immediately decrease the temperature to 200 degrees, and then these will stay in the oven for 40 minutes. And then after that, they will go in the refrigerator to cool for at least an hour before they're ready to eat. Okay, now we can put the preserves in there. Here for a moment. second to wash my hands. All right, now we're ready for our swirl. Here we go. So I've already pre-measured the preserves out because you do want to be mindful of your measurements on keto, because you want to be able to make sure you're tracking everything correctly. So you just need to, and I just didn't get in this spoon, just try to spread it as evenly as possible across all the pieces. I mean, across all your cheesecakes. So all you need is a little dab for each cake, and then you're going to use your toothpick to swirl it in. These little mini cheesecakes are a good way to satisfy that sweet tooth without sabotaging your weight loss. I'm going to go ahead and do the other one before I use the toothpick. That didn't stretch quite as far, just shy. So I'm just gonna get a little bit more, but make sure when I put my recipe in my Fitness Pal that I account for the extra preserves that I use for this. So then you just take your toothpick and swirl it around, work it in for each one. Alright, so we have, when I say we, because my husband came to help me, finished swirling in the preserves for our strawberry swirl. So now, as you can see, it's all mixed in really good. So as I mentioned before, I'm going to pop these in the oven, immediately turn the temperature down to 200 degrees, and then set the timer for 40 minutes. And then once this is done, we'll pop them in the refrigerator for an hour or so. Well, for us, we'll put it in there till tomorrow morning. Then we'll take them out and enjoy them. All right, we're ready for the oven. We're all set for the next 40 minutes. We'll let that cook in the oven. Then we'll pull them out and put them in the fridge where they will sit until they're ready for us to devour in the morning.
Hi!
Hi, we're back. It's the next day and we've taken our mini cheesecakes out of the refrigerator. They're ready to taste test, and I've got my little taste tester ready to test it out. Say hi, Brenda.
Hi.
All right, which one do you want to try?
That one.
This one? Oh, that's a big one. Okay, so let's take it out. And then we're going to open it up and let everybody see it. See, you've got a nice crust layer and a nice cheesecake layer there. All right, let's take a bite. Like that? Good. So, now you guys should try it. This has been Marriage and Family Matters, where marriage and family does matter. Please keep watching. We'll have all the details in the area below. Leave a comment and let us know if you try it out. Thanks.